These are the top 10 rarest cars in Forza Horizon 5. I can guarantee not a single one of you guys has all of the entire 10 cars on this list. I'll be walking through, with some of these cars being ones that haven't even been unlockable in many years in terms of different Horizon Festival playlists, as well as other ones that are very difficult to get given the fact they're locked behind a real paywall. So the first car in this video I'll be talking about is of course going to be the Mini Cooper Forza Edition. And this one is quite iconic because it's been on this list for quite a while. If you guys have watched a few of the rare car videos, this car always seems to make an appearance, but ultimately it's not for the wrong reasons. It is simply an extremely rare car and also very unique in the fact that it's from 1969, but a Forza Edition car that's also completely electric, so certainly very unique and one that not too many people could boast that they have or even know about how truly rare it is. Now secondly, we can of course refer to the next car on this list, which is going to be the Jaguar F-Type SVR 2020. Now there are quite a few different Jaguars in the game. Ultimately not too many of them are very rare. They're quite predominantly just auto show cars, but the SVR 2020 is definitely an exception. This car, as well as every other car I'll be talking about on this list, are so rare that you'll virtually never see them on the auction house, and that's ultimately what dictates how rare a car is. The amount of them in supply and the readiness for you guys to be able to obtain them, and the SVR is definitely no different to that. An extremely rare car that hasn't been available for a number of years in the Horizon Festival playlist, and ultimately guys, if you're watching this video later down the line, perhaps some of these aren't rare anymore, primarily due to the backstage pass, but at the time of recording, these are all extremely difficult to get. The third one on this list is definitely one as well, the rarest remaining Porsche in the game. And the reason I say remaining is because most of the Porsches that were previously extremely exclusive have now been made very rarely available in the backstage pass, such as the GT3 RS 2023. But the car I'll be talking about will of course be the 911 Turbo S 2023. Some would say currently the most difficult car to get in the auction house, and we're actually making a video. I'll pop a thumbnail of on screen. We're actually giving away a bunch of these, so all you need to do is drop a like and check out that video, because for example we did the same thing with the Pro Stock Camaro. We've actually given away nearly 100 of those, so simply by making a video you guys can drop a like, subscribe, etc., and you'll be able to get a chance to win. And figure we do the same with this car, which we're currently doing as we speak, so check that out. But ultimately the Porsche 911 Turbo S is a very cool car. It's a bit more of a sleeper if that's your style. It's a lot different to the GT3 RS, not as quite of a crazy wing, but definitely still a very quick one, with of course that 992 chassis, which makes it a very formidable opponent in a lot of different races. Now the next up car I'll be talking about, which of course a little bit different to the Porsche, is of course going to be one that's a little bit more low key as a car in the game. Not too many people even really know about it, and of course it's going to be the Razor. Now I can just say the manufacturer because it's the only car by this manufacturer in the entire game to take on speed 2019, a car that's pretty cool, definitely quite unconventional, not your typical McLaren, Ferrari, Lamb, or even Bugatti for example. A very unique car, only one of one in terms of the manufacturer in Forza, and also extremely difficult to obtain. And real quick, most of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel, so if you want to help us hit 200k and stay updated with the best Forza glitches, content, news, and more, be sure to tap that button. It really helps out a lot. But now back into the video. As you guys can see, for example, one gear it basically has. Now you can configure it a little bit differently with some tuning and upgrades, but definitely a pretty insane car. One that I recommend you guys should have a bit of fun playing around with, but it's only going to be quite a handful of you can actually get your hands on this right now if you haven't already got it in your collection from when it was first added into the game. Now next on this list isn't quite as rare as the others, given how badly everyone has wanted it and somehow being able to find a way to get it, especially with the help of how many we gave away and still potentially are going to add a few giveaways to that list, is of course going to be the Chevrolet Pro Stock Camaro. This car isn't just the kind of car that you want to get because it's rare and not many people have it. It also has a lot of utility, unlike most of the cars in this list, being by far the fastest drag car in the game. An absolutely insane car, pretty much a need in your garage if you guys like playing online and you like of course doing drag races in friends, or just generally as the events themselves. This car is going to be the one you need to really stay on top of the leaderboard. So a pretty insane car. Again, these are a bit easy to get in the auction house than other ones, however it's still certainly very rare, especially given how desirable it is. Now what makes this one easy to get is that so many people are constantly listing up in the auction house just to try and give it to their friends, and if you guys can get in the middle of that, you can get very lucky. And just real quick guys, you can see I've got every single car in the game, as well as on top of that the highest prestige level and 1 billion super wheel spins. And if you guys want to get some of these rare cars you might have been missing out on, we can of course help you out with that. Now of course you guys are able to get any rare car in the entire game simply through the auction house. It's all legitimate, all completely safe to do, and you guys can check out the pinned comment if you guys want to learn more. You guys can see the name Mitch Cactus is also how we can offer you guys these rare cars, credits, and more. For example, example, this is particularly relevant to the next two cars on this list, the Pagani Oreo Edition. So for example, there are these two cars I'll be making into one. The Pagani Oreo Edition, this car was previously added as a DLC between Oreo and Forza, and if you purchase the roll of Oreos in real life, it would of course come with a redeemable code for this car. Similarly to that, we also have another one with a very similar story, which of course is going to be the Ford 5-Window Coupe Deluxe Forza Edition. This one also came as a collab between Forza and Xbox when Forza was first released, and you guys could pretty much get it if you bought a Forza custom controller. Now, talking about Mitch Cactus and talking about getting all of the rare cars or a billion Super Wheel Spins instantly, we can offer two similar solutions to these cars because they're no longer available in game. However, you can actually get codes for these you can redeem on Xbox or Steam for the Pagani, and just Ford or Xbox or Windows Store for the Ford Deluxe 5-Window Coupe delivered to you instantly. So you guys might want to check those out. For example, the Pagani Oreo ones are just $9.99, so extremely easy to get if you want to still be able to get your hands in this car and flex in your lobbies, whereas the other ones you can no longer obtain through the Xbox controller or even the Oreo package, even if you still have one of them lying around. Now, the next car on this list is of course going to be another duo, and that's going to be both the Cadillacs, which were recently added to the game not too long ago compared to some of the other ones, the CT5V Blackwing and the CT4V Blackwing 2022. Both these were released in the same Horizon Festival players, and both of them are extremely difficult to be able to get because they're yet to be added on the Backstage Pass or re-added to the game through any other method like the Forzathon shop, and therefore extremely hard to come by. Your best chance is going to be the auction house. These are two other extremely exclusive and rare cars, and we even have the Ford GT OPI Edition. Now, this one is a little bit unique based on the fact that unlike the Pagani Zonda Edition or the Ford Deluxe 5-Window Coupe, you cannot still get this even if you tried. Even if you had a code from the initial Ford GT OPI collab, which was between OPI Nail Polish and Forza for Forza and Halo, two redeemable items, even if you have one of those codes laying around, the promotion is completely ended, so you can't even redeem any of them anymore. So technically, in terms of cars in circulation and the fact that it's literally impossible to get right now, the OPI Edition would have to be the rarest car in the entire game, but is maybe not counted by everyone who considers these lists, given the fact that it's blocked by an impossible paywall. Now, the final car I'll be talking about in this video is of course going to be the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series 2021, a pretty crazy car, one that's very cool. Again, not too old in the game compared to some of the earlier cars that were added in 2021, 2022, etc. A very exclusive one in this game, of course, one that's very good to have in your collection. Now, comment down below how many of these different cars that come in this list that you actually have in your garage, and of course, we'll be able to give away a bunch of those Porsches, etc. If you guys like and subscribe, and check out Mitch Cactus for a billion Super Wheel Spins if that's what you guys are wanting to get instantly.